Hey guys, it's Pig Cake here. I thought I'd take the little bit of a break from the usual endless sex that comes with performing magic on YouTube to give you guys a little bit of an opinion-based video after reading a couple threads on the world's greatest magic website. That's right, your friend and mine, the Magic Cafe. Oh boy. So if you guys don't know what the Magic Cafe is, it's a long-standing forum in the world of magic where old fucks come to argue about what's cool and hip in the magic community circa 1927. The Magic Cafe is like your grandma's house where you can go and find plates that were made in the USSR. But still, it's a meeting point for many of the world's top magicians to argue as to semantics and different types of happenings in the magic community. So in this particular thread, the proprietor Bid was looking for some YouTube channels so he could supplement his magical learnings, and in the thread you find many a magician arguing about what's magic on YouTube and what is exposure. And I just thought I'd throw my dick into the pot, or my balls in the curry, if you would, the spit roast, the soup. So this particular thread goes through the recommendations for other YouTube channels that are of class and high quality for this particular thread maker to see if he could munch on as a supplement for his magical learning. However, this thread dissipates into the classic long-standing argument as to whether magic on YouTube constitutes as exposure or if it's just good old family-friendly Disney Channel fun. Personally, I'm a little bit biased into magic on YouTube being acceptable in the right way. I'll explain what I mean by that in a little bit. However, this thread seems to have a bunch of people that disagree with me heartily. One of which is my favorite and yours, Harry Lorraine. Harry Lorraine, who could accurately say that he knew what the depression felt like. So in terms of magic on YouTube, I think that it boils down to semantics. And it boils down to the unfortunate circumstance that YouTube is an open and free platform for the majority. Again, you could argue whether or not certain types of videos that lean towards some political preferences happen to be beneficial or happen to be favored on YouTube because, you know, they seem to be favoring a certain side that may or may not enjoy taking it in the butt. However, that's for a different video. For this particular topic, which is obviously magic on YouTube, it becomes a little bit of a rabbit hole because we boil down to the idea of exposure. Now, what is exposure? Exposure, in my opinion, in my humbled opinion, as a budding YouTube magic superstar, is the idea that you're putting a video that shows somebody else's trick for the sake of clicks and for the sake of showing other people how that particular person did that trick. So for example, if Matt Franco appears on America's Got Talent and you happen to make a video where you are telling people how Matt Franco did that trick, that to me constitutes exposure because you are just showing people who are going to be looking for how he did that. Again, in the realm of YouTube, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this because there's no sort of law preventing this sort of idea. It becomes more of a moral dilemma to magicians because it's a dick move. You're capitalizing on a trend and showing people how to do a trick who are non-magicians and not interested in actually pursuing magic, whether that's through books, DVDs, instructional videos on YouTube. They just want to know how that trick is done and they're going to move along. Now, the difference between that and tutorials is that tutorials are specifically catered towards magicians who have an interest in magic. YouTube just happens to be, and coincidentally, the media that tutorial is being placed on. It's no different than a DVD, it's no different than a book, it's no different than any other form of media that somebody has to go out of their way to try to find to learn a magical effect or a move or something of that nature. There's a gray area in that YouTube doesn't have a sort of system where magicians that have come out with tricks, for example, and published tricks could take down videos that are exposing their ideas and methods without permission. And that's the unfortunate gray area that I feel we still have to take care of in the magical community. However, when it comes to tutorials, as Magic Fish says here, YouTube tutorials are exposure, period. And most of the time, the thieves are exposing others' pet effects without permission. When it comes to tutorials on YouTube, the unfortunate fact is that there are a lot of videos that are not good quality, that are exposure videos. However, what I think, hopefully, is that the small minority of magicians on YouTube that are doing it correctly could hopefully inspire a new generation of magicians to do it correctly and actually credit the magicians that have come up with either methods or come up with different moves and come up with the inspirations for the tricks that they're presenting on the platform itself. Hopefully, they could inspire this generation to do it the right way and grow Magic into a new way that it hasn't been seen before. However, this is going to be a slow process. There's this idea in the world of psychology where the previous generation is going to hate and detest the new generation, and this continues in an endless cycle until the older generation is dead and has subsequently become the new generation to look down on the next generation. Now the same thing applies to Magic, the same thing applies to YouTube as a whole, where now the older generation, us older folk, are looking down on the new generation of Jake Paulers and hope that they all die in a vat of AIDS. However, more specifically for Magic, this seems to have applied in each and every single subsequent evolution of Magic, meaning at first when books became a media, and even back to the discovery of goddamn witchcraft, you have people complaining about the exposure in Magic in the form of books and pamphlets. Then onto the video generation, we have magicians complaining about the new form of media and how video is going to kill the mystique and apprenticeship style learning of Magic of yesteryear. And then we have DVDs becoming more prevalent and magicians again complaining on how it's going to be so easy for magicians to ruin Magic because of how easy DVDs are available. And then we have digital media evolving to the point where now we could download a Magic video while taking a shit and also subsequently scrolling through the incest feed of Pornhub. And that is what I think it boils down to, the idea of them not understanding YouTube as a form of media and YouTube as just another evolution in where Magic is going to go. We don't know the next platform beyond YouTube. I don't think anybody knows that. However, we see the trend is obviously in parallel with the evolution of technology. Is Magic being done on YouTube incorrectly? Yes, I agree. But can it be fixed? Of course it can, with the upbringing of people doing it correctly. Now again, this is just from my opinion. Don't think that this is the word of law. I'm just saying it based on things that I've seen, based on my experience in Magic. But I think that it's a pretty reasonable opinion to have, and one that should hopefully lead to people coming fucking together and not arguing on this fucking forum that hasn't changed their format since the Martin Luther King speech. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's it. We just have a little bit of a ways to go in terms of Magic, but we'll make it, guys. We'll pull it together. I'm gonna go figure out different ways to ingest a pop filter.
I see you again. When 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 I see you again, when I see you again.